Councilmember Gibson.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to begin by quoting the city charter to frame council's vote on the selection of our chief administrative officer. So section 5.01.1 states, quote, "The mayor shall appoint a chief administrative officer subject to the advice and consent of a majority of the members of city council." So much like the president makes appointments for Supreme Court justices and the Senate approves, the mayor makes his appointment for CAO, and we as council must do our due diligence to ensure that he's selecting the right person for the job. Our task is to provide checks and balances. The CAO is the most powerful position in our government. This person hires and fires agency heads, prepares agency heads, prepares the mayor's budget, and carries out the day-to-day operations of the city. The position is critical to the daily functioning of our city government. And I share the public's desire for steady, competent leadership that we can count on for the long haul. For the sake of long-term stability, I think Richmond needs a CAO who is experienced and capable, who has been selected through a process that has earned the trust of the public. And in this moment of time, this is especially critical. There is widespread loss of faith in the competence of our city government as a result of indisputable failings in the delivery of public services and a clear lack of sufficient oversight. Full stop. And I know everyone in this room believes in the awesome power of government to improve our lives and the lives of our neighbors. And so to earn back trust, I believe this council and this administration must essentially lay ourselves bare, open ourselves up to interrogation by the public and the media. Radical transparency is the only path forward, and there are no shortcuts. So when all council members have opportunities to meet potential appointees, ask questions, give our advice and consent, the public benefits. And that's why this vetting process was built into the charter. Taking it a step further from the charter to allow even a short window for community awareness and dialogue would have strengthened the confidence in this outcome even more. Unfortunately, those things didn't happen. And I absolutely recognize the urgency of filling this role. But I don't think that necessitates announcing the appointment on Friday and voting the next business day. The vote was not included in our public agenda. And to the best of my knowledge, the employment contract, the paper that we're voting on, was shared with council members a few hours ago, minutes before we began our informal meeting today. So, I haven't read it in full. This gives me pause, and I'm not alone. I've heard from numerous highly engaged residents who've expressed concerns about the quick timeline and the lack of a public process. So, all of that said, I've chosen to abstain from today's vote. My abstention reflects a commitment to process and transparency and public accountability. These are promises that I've made. And when we rush a decision this important, I think we risk undermining public trust and the longevity of any appointment that we make.